Hello everyone, GuardianE here with another summon video in Destiny Child, and today we're going to be summoning for Polar Pepita here. So she does have her own debut banner. She is actually a boost child for the events that are concurrently running. We actually have both a world boss as well as a narrative dungeon. The narrative dungeon, of course, features Grilla, who is down here right below. She also has a banner. And do they have a banner for Nicole, who is the world boss? They do. Oh, at least this is her. I don't think she's rated up here or anything, but that's Nicole. We're going to take a look at Nicole as well as Grilla a little bit later. You can obviously get them for free just by grinding the event. Pepita is going to be just on the banner itself, so that's who we're going to be summoning for, and we're going to go in. So let's go. We certainly are willing to go to the 15 multis, but hopefully it doesn't come to that. The sweet spot, of course, is 5 multis in. That does guarantee me a copy of the spa skin, which would be appreciated. And we'll go from there. I will say, so I have some, I don't know, I have some concern, not concern. I have to say, I'm a little hot and cold about the new event and the units that were revealed. I think they all look fantastic design-wise. However, the other two, the two free ones, were censored to hell on global, so that sucks generally speaking. If there was ever more of a incentive to switch to tap or to use the uncensored patch, this batch is definitely it, because the designs look fantastic if they weren't just butchered. And so it's a little unfortunate there. The other kind of weird element is that the spa skins are all 2D for all 3 of them, I think. So none of them have any animations in the spa skin, which is a little weird. I don't think we've gotten, generally speaking, they do 2D skins. I would say not always, but not as a general rule of thumb, it's for the less popular units. But like, I don't know, these units look fantastic. They'd be awesome to see them animated. We're gonna skip this one, and yeah, not anything to write home about here. All right, so third multi. So yeah, that's why I'm a little hot and cold, a little lukewarm in general. I will show the non-censored art so you can see what I'm talking about, but otherwise they do look fantastic. Obviously for the holidays, these series of events and the banner have been up for a while now, and I'm just kind of getting to the banner. But it's been decent. It's been okay. The grind itself has been okay. Having both of them up at the same time does increase the amount of time that you have to kind of commit to the game, but the prizes are pretty good. They just dropped a whole ton of like 5-star tickets and stuff like that, and they dropped the Lisa extra lessons, which a couple of people have reached out to me asking for my suggestions and recommendations for the Lisa extra lessons. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to put together a guide, and I'm very, very sorry for that. But it feels like we just got the Lisa's extra lesson, and these are even better. I will go over that in more depth at the end of the video, and I'll put chapters, of course, if you want to skip to that part of the video. Let's skip this. Speaking of skipping, let's skip this multi. Okay, nothing. For people that just want my recommendations, because I will go ahead and start grabbing some units today. But hopefully people will be okay with me just kind of running through what I'm going to be picking for it and my justification and rationale for it. And to use your own judgment. There's a lot of guides out there too, and again, I do apologize that I wasn't able to get around to creating a full guide video for it, but hopefully people will find this useful. So far, I think this is multi 4, maybe. So actually, we don't want to get her here, because if we don't get her here, then we guarantee ourselves that spa skin, which again, I lament is not animated, but still a spa skin for a gorgeous character, so we will take those. Well, let's see. I mean, I have plenty of crystals in reserve, so I'm not worried. I'm definitely not worried. Yeah, okay, so this is going to be this is actually number 6, huh? I think this is actually number 6. So let's skip. Alright. Nothing this go around. But the design of Pepita is actually pretty cool. I like the fact that, I don't know, she does have the winter aesthetic. I think that's like the common theme for all of these units. They all have either a Christmassy or like a frost winter look to them, which is really nice. So, but I don't know if Pepita is supposed to look like a conductor or a soldier. She kind of looks like she's in a smart military uniform. She reminds me a little bit of the Northern Parliament in Azure Lane. Not to get our lines too crossed here, but I do get that feel from her. All right. And honestly, I'm kind of due for a. I think I'm due for a bad hit in Destiny Child, if I'm not mistaken. I've had some pretty decent luck on the banners, so I'm due for getting shafted. And if there's a game that I can afford to get shafted in, it's Destiny Child. I have so many crystals at this point, it's absurd. Let's go ahead and skip. Wow, alright, we are getting shafted, it seems. That's, again, if we're going to get boned on a banner, or boned in a game, and redistribute that RNG luck, I am okay with it being on Destiny Child. So let's see here. And I guess while I'm doing this, I can kind of preface my discussion on the Lisa's Extra Lessons for people, because it is different from previous versions of it in that you're getting fully ignited units from this Lisa Extra Lessons. And for those that are new and aren't fully aware of how that works, the ignition system is extremely costly. It is a late game initiative, and essentially for late game players, and it's very costly. You end up spending, what is it, like 14 or 16 5-stars in order to fully ignite a unit, if I'm not mistaken. Those numbers could be off. I don't remember off the top of my head. But it is expensive, and you're getting them for free, and you can pick whichever ones out of a batch of really, really powerful and useful units. So we're going to go through that. And there are like a couple of qualifiers, I would say, when considering which unit to pick up. Mostly because of the ignition, it's a little bit different, because even though there are some exceptional units available... Oh, 2 Tiamats in a row. Even though there are some exceptional units available in the Lisa's Extra Lessons, you might not want to pick those units, because getting them max ignited won't do anything for you. And they'll work just fine at you know, getting them as the default +0, the 5-star or 6-star. They'll work just fine. There's Lita, love to see her. And so, because you'd be content with just a +0, you don't want to waste this opportunity to get a fully ignited unit on a unit that's not really going to take advantage of the ignition. And, oh, here we go! Okay, got her on the last pull of this particular multi. There she is! Look at her, she looks fantastic. No one can understand the wind in the polar regions. That's God's will. And she is a wood attacker, and she looks absolutely fabulous. Very, very thrilled to get her, and that is, of course, going to secure us the spa skin for her as well. And here is Hot Spring Pepita in her spa skin. I love that she keeps her hat on. You have crisp, clean lines and shading on her smooth skin here. Really, really great stuff. Let's go ahead and grab this. Perfect. I'll take that too. Get a little bit of a crystal refund. Won't say no to that. So here is Pepita. She looks fantastic. She is a wood attacker, and admittedly, I'm not entirely sure what she does, or how good she is. But let's take a look at her drive skill preview. It's Innocence. Oh, the scepter's slapping that gift open, and then the bells ring. That's okay. That's not bad. So Nicole is the water debuff. She's the world boss for this go-around, so you can, of course, get her for free. And I do like that while she's in a Santa costume, it's not like the default red and green. It has these really nice indigos and blues. I love how shiny her thigh-high stockings are. She does have the little kind of sleepy Santa hat. And it really just kind of an elegant gift design, because there's the bow. She has the gift off to the side. We take a look at her drive skill preview. Bon Noel. And just kind of like a frost aesthetic. Again, the blue goes really well with winter and the frost, so it works really well. You have snowflakes kind of trailing down. And then we got Predator Grilla, who has the more customary red and white composition for a Christmas seasonal unit. And you can tell, like, right out of the gate, there's that, like, giant scarf thing that's draping over her chest, and it looks so awkward. Like, it definitely doesn't belong there. Obviously, that is the censored work, which sucks, because it looks really clumsy, too. Like, it doesn't even look good from an aesthetic standpoint. Like, they didn't even try to integrate it organically at all. But she herself is really cute. I like her expression, the little fang, the frilly nature of the Santa costume, the bells around the collar. Really, really cute. Let's take a look at her drive skill preview. Dream of a Legion. Oh, dripping some wax. Oh, that's cool. Oh, dude, I love that. That's amazing. She's on a tower of gifts, and she, like, tosses the candle at you, lights it up. That's really fun. I like that. So now is the time to cover the Lisa's extra lessons. Like I said, there are a few things just worth noting before we jump in. The units come fully max ignited with an ignition core, and again, this changes things dramatically, because even if you have a unit at +6 right now, the ignition process requires upwards of, like, again, 14 to 16 5-stars to actually complete, and a ton of resources. So even if you have a unit at +6, depending on what the ignition is and what you're missing, it would still be worth picking up a fully ignited version here. The other thing I wanted to mention, not all new units really need ignition, so despite some units being really amazing that are available, the priority should be to those that shine with max ignition. A good example of this would be Juno, or Dana here, or even Neptune. Like, you don't need these units at max ignition, and so wasting a selection of a max ignition unit would really be a waste. And then lastly, I wanted to note, don't fret too much about the default stone that they give you. You can always swap that out for a better stone in the future. The important thing is getting the ignited unit that you want, and in the future, as you gain more ignition cores that you can swap out, you can customize how you would like to in the future. So on Lesson 1, the big hits here are definitely Ophois, as well as Eve, and finally Tiamat. I think those three are really competing for, like, the highest choice here. Obviously, all three are attackers of their respective color, and some of the best attackers of their respective color. Upon ignition, they get a 6-hit slide, so it's absolutely, I think, worth getting any of those. If you're missing them, whichever color you have the weakest, you may want to select that particular unit. I do think Ophois is probably the strongest pick here, but you wouldn't really do poorly going for any of them. For me personally, since I already have Water Moftet ignited, and I have Curtis and Bathory ignited, who are blue, who are water and fire respectively, I would most benefit from getting Ophois. I actually have Ophois at +6, but even having Ophois at +6, I'm still going to pick up the ignited version because the investment is so huge and the differential is so great. If you really don't need another attacker for whatever reason, other considerations, I think Lightbeam Mona is not a terrible choice here. And then Rusalka is also a half-decent choice from this particular lesson. For Lesson 2, I personally don't think this matters that much. They're 4-star units. I would say that Echo is probably the best pickup here. She's pretty new in the pool, and so you'd have the least opportunity to ignite her for one thing, and she's pretty decent too. I'd also just, I guess, shout out Sonnet. I think Sonnet is okay as a budget attacker. Lesson 3 is also a set of native 4-stars, so I don't think it matters too much, but I guess I might recommend Namehain here. I think she's pretty decent as a 4-star. For Lesson 4, I think by and large, Navi is the premium choice here. For a lot of reasons, she is just so critical on world bosses. She can boost your damage by so much. So if you don't have Navi at a +6 ignited, I think that she's basically the best pick from this lesson. Other options, I think Sun Beach Mona is actually pretty decent, so I think those two would basically be my choices out of this batch. For Lesson 5, once again, it's a native 4-star. I don't think it matters too terribly much, but Titania is probably the best pick out of these, I would think. Maybe Maya as well wouldn't be too bad of a pick. Lesson 6, once again, native 4-star, not terribly exciting. A lot of people seem to like Hercules, so I guess I'll mention Hercules, but I think that as far as the rest of them, they're pretty much even keel. So whoever I guess you like design-wise, definitely Flynn's is the most recent addition. So again, probably had the least opportunity to build him up out of all of them for veteran players out there. And for Lesson 7, my personal picks would be to get either Clotho here or Coloratri. So either of those would be great. I think Clotho, generally speaking, is going to be more useful to have, especially for PvP, if you're going to be interested in that. Coloratri is more of an all-rounder, so she's going to be useful in a lot of different modes if you don't care about PvP at all. So those are basically the two big recommendations. Like I said, there's a lot of really great units in here, but also units that don't really capitalize as much on the ignition. So that's why I'm focusing on, I think, the two that excel the most out of that. I'll admit I actually haven't decided yet who I'm picking here. I'm probably going to go with Clotho, but I also really like Coloratri, so I'm probably going to make this as a last-minute decision. All of the other ones I've basically decided. For the big ones, Lesson 4, I'm picking Navi, and for Lesson 1, I'm picking Ophuis. But let me know in the comments below how you did on the banner, how you're doing on the event, who you're picking for your extra lesson rewards. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Destiny Child content. We thank you all so much for watching and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. Really do appreciate it. Certainly hoping you're all staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the very, very best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's keep on slacking.